All right, so we come into the house. We have the light on. We go over to the other switch and we turn it off. Then we come back out. Uh-oh, same thing. We can't figure it out. Now none of the switches work. Unless you have, like you said before, one of these switches in the correct position. But that's a pain in the butt. All right guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today we are going to visit the what if situations about the three-ways. What if you come to a three-way, right? You know, this happens a lot. I've been to a lot of people's homes where this has happened. You pull your car into the garage, you come in, you turn the light on, you walk back into your house, turn it off. Next morning you come out, you come back here, you turn it on, you go to your car, you turn it off, you drive away. Then your husband wakes up, or vice versa. He comes in, uh-oh, there's no light. He goes to this light and nothing. Goes back this light and it's on. He's like, oh, that's how you fix it. So he comes back and he turns it on. You go to turn it on, off, whatever, doesn't work. We're gonna diagnose two different ways to fix this with two simple tools. 2 meters, well, tick tracer and a meter. So stick around. One way or the other, you should be able to get this taken care of. Now, if you don't have these items I'm gonna show you, I will leave links down below where you can buy them. If you decide to buy from my channel, it will help support my channel and all the money goes right back here. Keep making these videos for you guys, so let's get right into this. Remember, we don't have any way to control these switches from this switch once it's said and done. So we're gonna fix it. Let's jump right in. All right, so when we get here, first thing we wanna do is we wanna go ahead and we wanna take everything out of the box, like we have here. We want the switches out, we can see everything. Then we're gonna turn the power off, and then we're gonna take each individual wire completely off. We're gonna leave the grounds on. There's no reason to take the grounds off. So let's go ahead and turn the breaker off. We'll make sure that we have no power here. We'll use our tick tracer. Like I said, links will be down. I'll leave a link to this one if I can find one. Also, I'll leave a link to my favorite one that I use pretty much exclusively. Okay, there's no power here. So let's go ahead and take all the wires off. Now, I'm gonna show you two ways like I mentioned. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start right here. And we're gonna just take each individual wire off. Now, this screwdriver, guys, the bulbous screwdriver is a freaking amazing. I've done a video on this one, so you can check that out. Now listen, I'm gonna do this video and I'm gonna do two different ways. This is a pretty easy way to figure out where the hot is, where the switch leg is. This is almost a foolproof way. So I say I do this a lot because a lot of the times when we go into these homes or what have you, this is just like a little side thing. Hey, by the way, I got this switch, you know, one of them things, because I'm already there, they want me to fix it, so, you know, bada boom, bada bing kind of thing. So this is the easiest way to do this. If you take all the wires off, all right, so now we have just the grounds hooked up on the switch. We're gonna put these back away. Now, what we wanna do is we wanna separate each individual wire. So we know for a fact that none of these are touching. We got all these three loose. These things are all independently, you know, separated. Now, we do know that in real life, we would never have a switch this close, but since we are working in a controlled environment, we need to figure out which one is which. Now, let's do this super easy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the power back on, and we're gonna take our tick tracer, and we're gonna go to each wire, and we're gonna see if we can figure out which one is the hot. All right, not there, not there. Ah, there we go. All right, so this is our hot wire. We know that is definitely the hot because obviously it's sensing it and telling it is the hot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and turn the breaker off. We're gonna double check again, make sure there's no power in any of these. And there's none. Now we do know that this one's the hot, so we're gonna fold this one back. Now we know that in both of these boxes, typical three-way fashion, this is the way that we would wire a normal three-way up. So having said that, we do know now that these two are our travelers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to straighten out our hooks on both of these, because we do know that these are the travelers 100%. Now we know that if indeed that 3-ways are wired up, I'm going to say correctly, because there's several ways to do 3-ways, but I'm going to say this is the correct way. This is the way that I teach. This is the way you should always do it, but there are creative ways to do it. So we're going to put a wire net between, in this box right here, the black and the red. Now we do know that in both the boxes we have a common red, and we have lots of blacks, right? 2 in this one, 2 in this one. We already designated this one as the hot. We folded this one back. We already know the breaker's off. We don't have to worry about anything. Now we know that the commons are the reds. So what we're going to do is we have the black and the red in this box together with the wire net. We're going to fold it back. We're going to turn our meter on, and we're going to put it on continuity. We should see the display say OL. When we see that, we want to make sure that our meter is working so well. Yep, it's working. So now we know we have continuity, and we do know that this right here, the red wire between the 2 boxes, is the common. So what we'll do is we'll take our meter and we'll put the red wire on a lead, and we're going to go to each of these wires and we're going to see which one beeps through. So we'll go to this one first, and nothing. It still says OL. We'll go to this one. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, so it's these 2. Now what that says to me is this is the set of travelers. So these 2 wires and these 2 wires are exactly the same. So now we know we can push these back. And what we're left with is the switch leg up to the light or a receptacle or whatever you're switching. So we know that that is going to be on the common screw, which is the black screw on your 3-way. So now we have our travelers, now we have our commons, we have our travelers, and we have our hot. So now we're going to work backwards. We're going to put our common back here. Now, if you look at my switch, it does look like it's silver, and that is because this is a very used switch. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. We're going to put it on the common, and we are going to tighten it up. Now obviously these wires are really exaggerated, but it is what it is. It's just for demonstration purposes. All right, and if you remember right, I always said when I wire 3-ways, in the last video I did how to wire 3-way, I always put the blacks on the same side. So we should be able to put this right here, tighten it up, so both my blacks are on the same side. Now, along with this bulbous screwdriver, if you don't like the Phillips, you can change it out and put the flat on here. But for this video, I'm going to use the Phillips. So we're going to take the red, we're going to flip the switch over, and we're going to put it on the terminal, maybe. All right. Boom. This switch is done. So now we're going to put it over here. We're going to get it out of the way. So now we're going to come back to this switch. Now we know that these are the travelers. Since they're already together, we'll leave them together first, and we'll take and we'll put our hot. And that hot goes on what part of the switch again? The common screw. So we'll put it on, and we are going to tighten it up. All while trying to stay in frame. Now with these 2, we're gonna have to put our hooks back on. So if you remember how to make a hook, if you do not, guess who has a video on how to put hooks on wires? Yours truly, of course. Remember, the way I do it, and you can definitely put the red here, it doesn't matter. But I'm gonna put, that's just the way I do. I'm very redundant. I'm the same over and over again. I like the blacks on both sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the black on the opposite side. And then, or on the same side. And then I'm gonna put the red on the opposite side. So what we've done is we figured out where the hot was, and the hot goes on the common, and the switch leg, which back up to your light, goes on the common. So if you don't remember, a lot of these switches, they say common right there on my screwdriver. It says common. It also says it on the back on some of them. All right, so now when we have this together, we're going to open this up so we make sure that nothing is touching and we're gonna see if indeed we fix the problem. So before we get ready to move the camera back, let's just give it a whirl and see if you see any light. Oh yeah, well you see the light on, so we'll see if it turns off. Now, I'll move the camera back and we'll see indeed if it is truly working. Okay, here we go. So once again, you're in your garage, turn it on, you walk all the way to your garage door, boom, turn it off. You come back this one, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. Simple. So now, is there a different way we could have done that? Yes. There's actually two different ways. Now, if you're a seasoned electrician or you wired your house, you could potentially be able to look into your box and see the wires, because you'll know that the 3-wire, the 14-3 or the 12-3, is in a sheathing. Sometimes you can look and then you can tell. Sometimes it's a dead-end 3-way, but we're not going down that route right now. But sometimes you can do that. But what if you don't? What if you don't know that? Well, I'm going to show you an easier way with just this meter right here and a tick tracer, so you don't have to take all of the wires apart. You can use that meter and figure out what's what. So let me show you how to do that real quick. All right, so we come into the house. We have the light on. We go over to the other switch and we turn it off. Then we come back out. Uh-oh, same thing. We can't figure it out. Now none of the switches work. Unless you have, like I said before, one of these switches in the correct position. But that's a pain in the butt, especially if you're going a long distance and you forget, and you're walking with a flashlight, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure some of you watching are like, psh, I know that feeling. Give me a thumbs up if that's you. So what we want to do is we want to fix this. Now I'm going to show you with this meter right here and a tick tracer of your choice. This is not my choice, this is the one I have here, but I do like this one. But I'll leave the link, like I said, to this one. It's a pretty good one. I mean, it does light up and boom, has a flashlight. That's when you're walking, you know, to fix your switch. So anyway, all right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here, and first thing we're gonna do before we do anything else, we're gonna find if indeed there is a hot. Because we know, okay, so there's a hot somewhere here. And we know that the light, oh yeah, there it is. If the light is working, so we know that for sure, or at least potentially, we know that there is a neutral that is working, correct? I would never use the ground for this, because even though the grounds are connected, in here they are connected, but some people's homes, they're not. So we're always gonna go to the neutral with this. So keep that in mind. So we know that there's technically a hot. We can see anywhere we go, there's a hot. So we're gonna go over, leave the light on, we're gonna turn the breaker off. Boop. All right, so what we wanna do is, we want to see where indeed the light is being fed wrong from. Now we're using our meter like I mentioned here. This is this part where we're going to use the meter. Now, a couple of things. If you come over here and you find your hot in this box over here, and you come over here and you find it in this box here, now you know one thing is for certain, all right? One thing is for certain. Wherever your main hot that's coming into your box is, one box or the other, if you know exactly where it is, then you know for a fact that this switch over here, your second switch, is the one that's messed up. And that is because when you have your switch correctly wired with your hot coming in on your bottom, if it's coming in on the common, then the only way that switch over there is going to work is if you switch it down, it'll have power. If you switch it up, it'll have power. You have something over there across. You have a traveler across. So keep that in mind. Now, if you come over here and you say, okay, there's power on this box, but there's not power in this box, and that's this situation right here. That's the situation we're working with now. There is no power whatsoever in this box. So we kind of know now that potentially the mess up is right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna definitely check here anyway with our meter just to make sure that for sure that there is a mess up. Now, one thing's for certain, we know the light's working, one way or the other. Whether you have the switch in the right or wrong position, sometimes or another, that light is working. What we want to do is we want to go and we want to find a neutral in one box or the other, because we know for a fact, right, that somewhere in this situation that the light is working. So if we don't know where the hot is, we assume it's right here. We're not certain, but we're going to double check. So what we want to do is we want to take that wiring it off very cautiously. Now, I only do this if you are 100% careful. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn this light off for now so we can talk. Because you have hot wires here, so only do this at your own risk. I am not telling you to do it like this. I'm telling you this is a way easy way to troubleshoot. You just have to be very cautious. If you turn it off the way that I showed you to begin with, there's no way possible. Well, there is a possible way, but it's easier not to get shocked. Now, obviously, my joints are made up, so you don't want to have any free air splices, and everything is separated, so I know that for a fact that I shouldn't touch anything that shouldn't be. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our meter. I'm going to pull you here close in a second. We want to put this on volts now. But before we put it on volts, we always, every time we use this meter or any meter, I don't care if it's a Harbor Freight one or whatever, we want to double check. And we want to see our readout read out something. When you take the leads loose, it should say OL. If it doesn't, even when you put them together and it still says OL, then you got something wrong with your meter. Either your lead's not in or something. So I know that that's working. That way at least I know the meter is kind of working. Now this is the trick. We want to put it on volts. I'm gonna pull you closer and I'll show you exactly how to diagnose this problem right now. All right, so with our meter on, and you can see that there's something reading on there now. It says 0 volts because there's no volts. We're gonna take, it doesn't matter which lead you use, we're gonna take one of these and we're gonna take our other lead and we're gonna touch each individual screw. So we're gonna start on this switch right here. There's no voltage. Actually, there's 1.1 volt on there right now. So we'll go to our common screw and we have nothing. Now, we're gonna go to the opposite side of this on the red and we're gonna see. And we have 1.1 volts. So it tells me right now that there's, at least for almost certain, there's no main power in this switch over here. So we're done with that switch. Now we're gonna go to our other switch and we're gonna try, and we're gonna go to our common. We're gonna see, because that's where the power should come in, or the switch leg, right? So we're gonna watch the meter, all right? 1.1 volt. We're gonna go to our black on the top and we're gonna see 122 volts. Now, that right there tells me that these two wires are switched. But just for giggles, we're going to do the same thing. We're gonna go here on the red just to make sure, and we have nothing. So now we know that this black and this black need to be swapped. And that's all we have to do. So we're gonna turn the power off. We're gonna make sure the power's off. We'll go over here, we'll turn our breaker off. We'll recheck again all the wires. It only takes a second to get hurt and a lifetime to get over it. So we'll go ahead and we will check. No voltage, no voltage, no voltage, no voltage, and no voltage. And one more time, we'll check our meter. Yep. So we're good. So now we know we're gonna, first of all, we're gonna be safe. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put our cap back on, our wire nut back on our neutral. After we put our cap back on, we're gonna take our tick tracer because we wanna make sure that there's no power, even though we used our meter. All right, no power. I'm gonna turn my tick tracer off. I'm gonna swap these wires. I'm gonna see if that is the problem. So let's go ahead and we'll take this off and we'll take this. We'll put this one here. Tighten it down. I don't know if you guys can hear or not, but it is so flippin' windy outside. And we're supposed to be getting a lot of snow tonight, so hopefully we'll be at least 2 hours late tomorrow, if not. Now this hook is not good, so I'm gonna fix this. There we go. All right, so now we're good. I'm gonna back the camera up and we're gonna see indeed if the light works. Make sure we're good and tight. So with everything squared away right here, we'll pull these up so you can see. Got our switches out, we got our light on, we got everything squared away. We'll turn the switch on. Now what we want to do is we want to see if that light comes on. So we're going to go to this switch first. So we'll turn it on, boom. And we'll turn this one off. We'll turn it back on over here. And we'll turn it off here. So now we know that we are good. Now remember, if you come here and you have voltage with your tick tracer in both of these switches, you know that if you you know where the power is coming in to these switches at, or your boxes, then you know it's got to be in the opposite one, okay? Super easy. Now, let's talk about this tick tracer real quick. Like I said, I'm gonna leave links down below to this. Don't get me wrong, this is a great tick tracer, okay? I like how it shows green, and for those people who have the problem with, you know, the switch down, when you're walking across your garage to figure out which way it's gotta be sitting, you have a light that you can use to see your way. Give me a thumbs up if that's you. All right, guys, that's all there is to it. Super easy. All right, that's all there is to it, guys. If you do like what you see here, make sure that you like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below if there's something you want to see. Also, if I've given you any value, smash that thumbs up. It does mean the world to me, guys. It does help my channel grow, and that's what I'm out here to help you guys and to get my channel growing. Guys, if you want to see how to wire a three-way switch from start to finish, click in that video that came up. You will see easy way. Now, it's a long video, but you will see exactly how to do it. Super easy from point A to point B. I'll catch you in that video. If you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.